Thomas Frank to Tottenham is now here. We go. Fabrizio Romano has said the magic 3 words to confirm that he will become our next head coach. Spurs will have to pay a 10 million fee to price Frank away from Brentford, but Spurs don't seem to have a problem with that. A formal agreement is in place, just a final few bits and pieces, and then the deal will be finalised. An announcement is expected in the next few days. What are your thoughts and opinions on this appointment? Because personally, I'm a big fan. I didn't want Ange Postecoglou sacked, but out of all the options we've got now, Thomas Frank is top of my list, and I'm really glad that he is going to become our next manager. I think he's tactically flexible. He's proven it in the Premier League, and as I say, he's proven it with a 71 million net spend. Turned Brentford from a mid-table championship club into an established Prem side with a 71 million net spend. It really is some achievement, and you look at his record against the big six, the type of results that he can get against the big teams with far lesser players at Brentford than he's going to have at Spurs. It makes me optimistic for the future. Will he be able to win a cup? Only time will tell. He hasn't had an opportunity yet to manage at a club that goes out there and wins cups. So it'll be interesting to see how now he acts in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, because at Brentford, they always get knocked out pretty early under Thomas Frank, but then again, they don't have much of a chance of winning it. So he always tries to prioritise the league and get those European spaces. And look, I think the league form will definitely improve at Spurs. You know, I don't see anyone really doubting that. 17th in the league was unacceptable. Obviously, we got the European trophy, and I take that all day long over second and nothing. But the league form does need to improve, and I do think Thomas Frank will improve it. And if he can improve it with a trophy, he would have done some job. Look, expectations-wise, first season, I think top 10 finish and at least one good cup run. And second season, I think top 6 finish and hopefully a cup. That's the way I'll be measuring it. I can't just say, right, he's coming in, he immediately needs to get top 6, because from 17th in the league, that is some jump up. And you're looking at teams now like Aston Villa, Newcastle, who have taken our place, taken Manchester United's place, because we've been slacking off the last few seasons. You've also got clubs like Brighton up there competing as well for European places. Nottingham Forest, they've got that European money now. Will it hinder them next season though, being in the Conference League, or will it give them a boost to go out there, sign more players and compete on all fronts? There's a lot of good teams in the Premier League next season. It's not your traditional big six anymore. So to just say, you know, he needs to get top 6 immediately in his first season after finishing 17th the previous season, I think those are very high expectations to put on him. Look, we have just won a trophy, but we can't suddenly have this attitude that we're serial winners and that if a manager doesn't win a trophy in 2 years at Spurs, then he's a complete and utter failure. Pochettino didn't win a trophy. Does that make him a failure? Not in my opinion. I think he built something pretty special at Spurs. He didn't actually win anything. It didn't lead to anything, which is why Ange Postecoglou, for me, in the history books ranks higher than Pochettino. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we dismiss what Pochettino done. He built something very special at the football club. And I kind of get those Pochettino vibes with Thomas Frank. For all the people that are saying Thomas Frank hasn't won anything, you know, he's never managed at a big club. Neither had Pochettino before he joined Spurs. Neither had a lot of managers before they went to big clubs and proved themselves. And this is Thomas Frank's chance to, and I think that he will. He's fantastic with the media. And look, Ange Postecoglou, when he first came in, was a real media darling. And then towards the end of his first season, it started getting a little bit tense. And then a lot of times this season, he's blew up at the media or called them out or called out fans and stuff. So Thomas Frank is very eloquent. He speaks very well to the media. If you guys don't know a lot about him, I would recommend the Monday Night Football analysis on YouTube, the sit-down dinner with Gary Lineker. Whatever you think about Gary Lineker, it's a good football conversation. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, the day in the life of Thomas Frank at Brentford. You sort of get more of an understanding of not just him as a coach, but him as a man. And I think he can definitely be a good man manager and a motivator as well as a good tactical manager. So I'm glad with this appointment. As I say, you want to get my thoughts more on the tactical side of things, check out the tactical analysis yesterday. Looking forward to seeing that back 5 or back 3 against the top teams, and I think it will give us a good chance of getting more good results and improving our league form. But yeah, Thomas Frank to Spurs. It's done. Expect an announcement very, very soon. That's what I've seen from Romano and a lot of other sources and reliable journalists. Look, we've been talking about Ange Postecoglou. Now there is no point debating Ange in, Ange out, and shake it all about. The only talk we should have about Ange is how successful of a manager he was at Spurs. He went on to lead us to a European trophy. Fantastic. But what is the point in debating things about Ange Postecoglou? Because he's not here. Let's remember him for what he did good. Let's move on and let's build under Thomas Frank. It's going to be a very, very different shift, definitely for our academy and a lot of people at the football club who have, been drilled to play a specific style of play over the last few years. But I do believe that Thomas Frank can get them used to his methods and his ways, which are very, very different. As I say, he's a very reactive manager compared to Postecoglou, who's proactive. Postecoglou was take the game to people. Thomas Frank is, let's counter-attack against the big teams. Let's maybe take the games to the smaller teams. Let's see who we're up against and make our game plan based on that. But look, you guys might not like this appointment. If so, let me know why in the comment section down below. What if you preferred someone else? Do you think Frank's not going to cut it at Spurs? Or are you like me? Out of all the options, you're very happy that we've appointed Thomas Frank. Guys, I'm going to make like a banana and split. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Have a smashing rest of your day. And as always, come on, you Spurs.